This is a special edition of KATU News on your side.
And good evening, everybody. Tonight we begin with a tornado warning that ended just over an hour ago in Clark County. This is an image taken just 10 minutes before the warning went off. It was chimed in by KATU viewer Brandon Armstrong, who says he took it looking toward Highway 14 on Grand and Columbia Way. Clark Regional Emergency Services says no funnel touched down. The National Weather Service issued that warning because radar indicated rotation. That alert came in about 3 o'clock this afternoon. It was in effect for Battleground, Barberton, and Hawkinson until 3:30. So far, Emergency Services says there are no reports of storm or wind damage from that event. I'm going to get right to meteorologist Dave Selesky for the latest on what happened on the Oregon side. Dave, certainly a lot of ingredients in the atmosphere today for a lot of wild stuff out there, no question.
Yeah, both the Washington side and also on the Oregon side. As a matter of fact, we have a confirmed report of a funnel cloud on 138th and Sandy near the Costco there by the National Weather Service. Don't have any video of that, but again, Weather Service spotter picked up on, saw that funnel cloud, confirmed funnel cloud at about 3:40 p.m. Out in the southeast Portland area. Now again, here's radar. We're going to take you through a time lapse of this throughout the afternoon. So again, there we are at about 1:57. We get in towards the 3 o'clock hour. There is that radar indicated tornado warning right here at 3:03 in the afternoon. This continues all the way through until about 3:15. Again, it was radar indicated, no reports of any damage. And then we go now into the 4 o'clock hour. Another line of strong thunderstorms right here popping up. This is a severe thunderstorm warning that included a good portion of Clackamas County. That stayed posted all the way up to about the 4:30 hour, and then things settled down. We did at one time have a flood advisory up for both Multnomah and also for Clark County, but that had settled down. At this hour, here's a look at radar tracking this storm cell, and as you can see, North Bonneville, Cascade Locks, now about 12 to 25 minutes away from seeing this line of showers here tracking into that area, the Columbia River Gorge. This is all moving off towards the north-northeast at about 20 miles an hour. Notice that back behind this, things are really settling down. Troutdale, Gresham, Portland, Vancouver, Hillsborough, all in the clear as far as severe weather goes. We're still seeing some clouds. We're still seeing some showers out there, but things have really settled down in the past couple of hours. And again, we have no watches or warnings posted for northwestern Oregon or southwestern Washington at this time. Our C-Tran camera again showing overcast but dry skies for the moment. There are still some passing showers out and about. 64 the current temperature there. Touch mark up in the West Hills. Look at this. You got a little bit of sunlight here looking off towards the west, out towards the Coast Range. Still seeing overcast skies. Some fog and some sun breaks. 63 the current temperature now. And downtown Portland up on top of the Standard Insurance Tower again had some very heavy showers move on through here about half an hour ago. Now things are calming down. Mostly cloudy skies at this time. The temperature sitting at 65 degrees. So again, the numbers for you. Currently up in Kama, 62 degrees, or 61 for Damascus, and 63 over in Hillsborough, and 62 down at Aurora. So again, temperatures on the cool side. We had a very strong cold front move on through right there. This moves on through, but back in behind that cold front, a line of some very heavy showers, a very unsettled atmosphere back behind this, kicked off those strong showers and thunder showers throughout the afternoon and gave us those strong storm warnings we had through the 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock hour. That's now pushing off towards the east. Higher pressure is now building in. Bottom line here is showers are ending. So high pressure ridge builds on in. We go back to dry skies and much warmer weather begins tomorrow and goes all the way through the middle part of the week. And by the middle part of the week, Steve, I wouldn't be surprised. We see afternoon high temperatures in the low to mid 70s. That's unusual for this time of the year. We should be in the mid 60s, so running about 8 to 10 degrees above average for this time of the year. That's going to trend all the way through until likely Thursday and perhaps even beyond that. Now temperatures this evening will drop down into the upper 40s and low 50s. Highs tomorrow going into Tuesday up into the mid 60s to upper 60s. Then going into Tuesday and Wednesday, those daytime highs, they climb into the mid 70s and could reach upper 70s by late Wednesday and going into Thursday. So our evening planner, mostly cloudy skies right now. Between now and about 7 o'clock, still mostly cloudy skies, still a chance of a shower scattered around the metropolitan area, but not completely out of the rainfall. And then by night, 9 o'clock, as a high pressure ridge builds in, mostly cloudy and dry, and 57 degrees by 9 p.m. Our 7-day forecast looks like this: 66 tomorrow. There's 73 for you on Wednesday, 75 on Thursday, still in the 70s on Friday. Saturday, mostly cloudy, a tad bit cooler. And then by Sunday and Monday of the week, latter part of the week and first part of next week, we have increased chances of seeing some showers and significantly cooler air arriving. On Sunday, a high of just 60, and by Monday, high temperature not even up to 60. Back over to you.
All right, Dave, we'll talk to you very soon. Thank you for that update. Now, we should know by the end of the week if Portland teachers will authorize a strike. Today, the Portland Association of Teachers began voting on whether or not they support a strike if an agreement isn't reached with the district over a new contract. KATU's Megan Allison joins us live now outside Chapman Elementary School. Megan, what timeline can people expect moving forward here?
Well, Steve, the teachers union will count the votes on Friday, and by early next week, they'll decide if a strike will in fact happen. From there, they have to give PPS at least 10 days notice. So the earliest a strike would happen on campuses like this one is November. The Portland Association of Teachers is collecting votes to authorize a strike. This comes as they negotiate with Portland Public Schools in a push for increased funding to reduce class sizes and incentivize staff to stay.
I think there's room for compromise there. I think there's room for compromise to get our educators a living wage, especially thinking about our new educators so that they can afford to live in the city that they work in, and I think it's possible.
PPS was not able to go on camera Monday, but in an interview last week, the chief of research assessment said there is a $200 million difference between the union proposal and the district proposal.
And the facts of our budget is that while we do have $100 million in our reserves or our savings account, our board has already authorized us to spend that down this year in order to balance the current budget.
Members of the Association of Teachers tell me in the meantime, they're also advocating within the legislature for more funding at the state level. I spoke with parents here as well. Some say they're supporting teachers during this time. Others tell us they're scrambling to find a backup childcare options in case a strike does come to pass. We're live in Northwest Portland. Megan Allison, KATU News.
Megan, thank you. And of course, stay with KATU News for continuing coverage of the strike authorization vote. When we're not on air, you can always track updates on our website, KATU.com, and our social media pages as well. Other news now, Portland police are investigating a deadly shooting in southeast Portland. They say 3 people were shot. One of them has died. Now, the shooting happened yesterday morning about 4 a.m. near southeast 86th and Foster. When police arrived, they say one of the victims was dead. The other 2 were taken to the hospital with life-threatening injuries. Police have not said whether they've arrested anyone or if they're looking for a suspect now. Stay with KATU News for updates on that story. And multiple people have been arrested in a mission targeting a suspected drug house. Over the course of 2 days, Washington County deputies arrested 8 individuals for suspected drug activity. The house is on Southwest Thiessen Place in Aloha. Sheriff's office says it received more than 60 calls about that home this year alone, often related to suspected drug activity. We have a list of people who were arrested and what charges they're now facing on our website, KATU.com. The Multnomah County District Attorney's Office and TriMet are expanding efforts to increase safety on public transit. This summer, the DA's office added a second deputy district attorney to hold people accountable for crimes committed throughout the TriMet system. Today, the DA's office announced the expansion also provides 2 investigators to assist the deputy DAs in compiling information on TriMet-related cases. Tomorrow, the Multnomah County Sheriff, the DA's office, and TriMet will gather to discuss these efforts to ramp up safety for riders, employees, and the community. KATU will be there. We'll bring you coverage tomorrow afternoon. Now to the latest on the war in the Middle East. And tonight, United Nations is calling for the siege on the Gaza Strip to be lifted so that humanitarian agencies can bring in supplies and help those in need. UN says 1 million Palestinians have been displaced since the war broke out on October 7th. Agency says they haven't been able to bring in any supplies since that date. And officials warn of a shortage of potable water and other necessities. A spokesperson describes the fear and desperation among the agency's own staff in Gaza.
They tell us that they cannot even reassure their children to tell them that it's going to be okay because maybe it's not going to be okay.
Israel has vowed to dismantle Hamas following the militant group's attack. More than 1,400 people were killed, and Israel says at least 150 others were captured by Hamas and taken into Gaza. The attacks in Israel have American law enforcement concerned about copycat attacks right here in the U.S. National correspondent Kayla Gaskins reports.
With tensions rising in the Middle East, the head of the FBI warning of possible attacks on U.S. soil related to the Hamas terror attacks on Israel.
In this heightened environment, there's no question we're seeing an increase in reported threats, and we've got to be on the lookout, especially for lone actors who may take inspiration from recent events to commit violence of their own.
Christopher Wray's warning Saturday came a day after a Hamas-backed global day of jihad, which didn't result in widespread violence, but had some like New York Mayor Eric Adams calling for extra attention from law enforcement.
We must remain vigilant. We have directed the NYPD to deploy additional resources to our schools and houses of worship.
The Middle East conflict also causing renewed concerns of U.S. border security. U.S. Customs and Border Protection reportedly says they've arrested 4 Iranians who are considered special interest aliens so far this month. CBP uses that label to identify non-U.S. citizens who potentially pose a national security risk.
We do know that there are actual threats coming into the United States across the southern border.
CBP data shows this year alone, 153 on the nation's terror watch list were caught trying to enter the country via the southern border. That's more than the previous 6 years combined.
So you see this dramatic upswing in terrorist individuals, at least on those watch lists, having entered the country in just the first couple of years of the Biden administration, not accounting for people who weren't intercepted that might be coming in.
Director Wray says threats against Muslim and Jewish facilities are both up. The FBI also working with joint terrorism task forces to identify and address any possible danger. In Washington, I'm Kayla Gaskins.
And stay with KATU News for continuing coverage of the war in the Middle East. You can also track updates on our website, KATU.com, and on our social media pages as well. More than 1,000 peace health workers are set to go on strike in 1 week from today. That includes 1,300 employees in Longview and Vancouver. Union is demanding a new contract with higher wages and staffing levels. In a statement, Peace Health said, "We remain committed to good faith bargaining in order to reach an agreement that is competitive, fair, and provides total reward enhancements for our caregivers." This Wednesday, New Seasons is opening a new store in downtown Vancouver, located at 15th and Main Street. It will be open from 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. daily. This New Season's second store in Vancouver, the first one opened in Fisher's Landing in 2011. The chain is set to open another store at the Milwaukee Marketplace next spring and at Tannisbourne Town Center in 2025. Today, burger and shake fans in Tigard opened their arms and stomachs to welcome a new Shake Shack. The new location at Bridgeport Village is now Shake Shack's 3rd location in Oregon, set to feature a heated outdoor seating selection to allow for outside dining year-round. The restaurant is just the latest addition to Bridgeport Village as part of a $35 million refresh. Shake Shack representatives say the revamping project was a major draw.
So you're seeing sort of a great restoration moment here in a community that was already incredible, that now is just getting all this extra attention for all the right reasons. So it seems like what better time for us to come in than right then and be part of it from the beginning.
That new restaurant will be open from 10:30 to 10 Sunday through Thursday and 10:30 to 11 on Friday and Saturday. To celebrate the opening, Shake Shack says it will be donating $1 for every sandwich sold at the Bridgeport Village Shack today to Sustainable Northwest. Tonight, the White House is reviewing an FDA plan to ban menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars. Approval from the Office of Management and Budget is the last step before finalization, although exactly when that could happen is not known. Scientists say menthol makes smoking more addictive and appealing to young people. In fact, the CDC reports more than half of kids who smoke use menthol products. The American Lung Association is hailing the FDA's proposed ban. Experts predict the tobacco industry will fight it in court if it gets final approval. One study suggests a U.S. menthol ban could save more than 500,000 lives in 40 years. Medical research, says we can learn a lot from the human brain after someone dies, and some say it could hold the key to learning more about several diseases and conditions. Medical reporter Liz Bonus has more.
Hey there, everybody. The Brain Donor Project has been around now for years, but if you haven't heard of it, advocates say it's likely because it's kind of a tough subject to talk about.
Tish Hevel knows that. This is a picture of her final Father's Day and her final Christmas with her dad, who was diagnosed with Lewy body dementia.
And I feel his presence so much doing this work.
After donating his brain for research, she discovered that wasn't such a simple thing. So she started the Brain Donor Project.
And the whole idea was to make it easier to donate your brain when you die and to raise awareness of the critical need for it.
It allows you to pre-register to donate your brain after you die. As this video provided by the Brain Donor Project shows, the project partners with the National Institutes of Health. Tish says to date, they've had 20,000 people make a pre-donation since the partnership started 7 years ago.
We're only, a generation maybe away from understanding the genetic underpinnings of so many things. So having that info will be real valuable.
NIH researchers need healthy brains for comparison, as well as those who've suffered complications from many conditions. These may include Parkinson's, mental illness, even concussions. And just so you know, if you're also signed up to be an organ donor in the event of your death, that does take precedence over brain pre-registration if your organs would save another's life.
If you'd like more information about pre-registering your brain for donation, we have that for you online. I'm medical reporter Liz Bonus. Back to you.
And Liz, thank you for that. And we're back with more local news right after Monday Night Football. Thanks a lot for joining us. We'll see you soon.